you have had a lot of stop and starts. You've had a lot of projects and been shelved a lot and been a part of a lot of situations. And then you got in a situation where you came in. This is what's interesting to me about you. Your bars are the star. It's never about who you affiliated with. You know, you came in with Snoop and Daz and them, and then you got down with Death Row, and then there was an issue with Death Row, and then Daz stayed with Death Row, and you stayed with Daz, and then Daz left, and then you were still with Death Row, and then Snoop and Suge had a big, huge issue, which I from what I hear, that issue has been solved to a large degree. But it was a very big situation, big deal, while you were in the middle of all that. How were you able, my opinion is, from the outside looking in, is it must be the bars. Like, this guy just must be such a good rapper that people like, I don't mind if he's down with them niggas across the town. You know, like, I'm still down with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, definitely. I mean, you know, I was able to go from Death Row in my past and then be signed to Shady Records with Shady Aftermath. You know what I'm saying? And it's not too many people who could go from Death Row Records to a Dr. Dre affiliated company. You know what I'm saying? And it is the bars. It's just really my, you know, being true to my craft and trying to improve at all times and making myself valuable enough for somebody to want to do business with me no matter what was going on. And I had to do that on Death Row because there was a black cloud. When I left Death Row, a lot of people in the industry was like, you never make it. You're never going to go anywhere else because you got this black cloud over you. People think Suge going to jump out the closet on them.
Right, because you heard the stories. You heard stories about Vanilla Ice and the issue with Pac and all this.
Like any story you heard, just times it by 10. So my whole thing is, you know, they said you couldn't make it. That's one of the reasons why I did the Hip Hop Weekly series at first. You know, when I was dropping every week for 52 weeks, I did that because, you know, and at the time, nobody was doing that. You know what I mean? And my brother Watson from PSA Hip Hop, he had to really point this out to me. You know, they're like, okay, where's your classic body of work? That is my classic body of work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that is my contribution, like how, you know, somebody would have, you know, the Blueprint or the Reasonable Doubt or Illmatic. That 52 weeks, nobody was doing that. Everybody was influenced by it. Kanye started doing a weekly series, Good Music Monday. Everybody,
Woo Wednesdays.
Everybody used that motto after I created it. You know what I'm saying? It got me on the cover, the first freshman cover of the Double XL magazine. I toured off of it. I made money off. So I made money, I impacted, and I influenced with that body of work, and it was a real solid body of work. But that was part of that was like, yo, I got to rap my way out from under this black cloud. You know what I'm saying? So I just rap my way up, you know, like, yo, every week I'm going to stay in their face. And, you know, another advantage was the blogs. People weren't doing that on the blogs yet. We were kind of new to putting music on blogs. So I was noticing a pattern when you drop something on a blog, 1 day, 2 days later, it's gone. So I was like, okay, if I drop every week, I got to stay on the top blogs all year.
Right, and then you're shouting out the blogs as the weeks are going out. You're shouting out the DJs and the blogs are showing you love. So it's creating a cyclical relationship.
And the fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shouting out fans and
Yeah.
people making requests. Yo, can you take that Kanye beat and do something to, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Boom. Do it the next week. Like music made to order, basically.
Now, how many of those did you stack them up before you rolled out? Like, did you have a few weeks done, or you were doing them fresh every week?
I was doing them fresh every week so I could talk about current events too. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be able to touch on things that were going on in the community and make it current. So yeah, I was doing them every week, man. Even rain, sleet, or snow, sick, you know. And when I was doing it, I was still doing mixtapes. I put out a couple mixtapes. You know, I started the weekly series again. Couple months ago. I'm like on week 30.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good.
Yeah, I'm like on week 30 something, but I did it on Spotify because I wanted to grow my Spotify community, and I just wanted to make a commitment to them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so no, because I've been listening to your Spotify a lot lately, and there's a lot of bars on there. Weekly, so that's those are the newer ones.
That's the newer ones. Yeah.
That's I get it, because there was some references on there, like you talked about Epstein.
Yeah, exactly.
You talked about hanging with the bars, like Epstein. There was like a fucking Cardi B bar in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, this guy is just he's
psychic.
the future.
That's that Libra. We know everything.
You know, Libra, man, scale gang, man. We
All Libras in the house today.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. We balance things out, bro. You know what I'm saying? You coming in hot, we gonna cool you off. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Now, when you signed to Shady Aftermath. You signed with Shady Aftermath as a member of Slaughterhouse, right? Was there any issue? Like, did Dr. Dre or anybody have an issue with your previous Death Row work?
It was funny because we was at the video shoot for Forever with Drake and Lil Wayne and Eminem, that joint they all did together. And that's where we signed our letter of intent. And we signed the letter of intent. And it was funny because one of the executives at Shady was like, so how do you feel? And I thought she was talking to the whole group, but she was just talking to me. And I was like, well, what do you mean how I feel? And it was like, well, you was on Death Row, now you're on Shady.
Right.
And I was like, I feel great. You know what I'm saying? Shit,
Right.
it's lit, whatever shit. But it was just, it's just dope, man. And I use that example for all the up and coming artists, because I'm real artist friendly and I really want to see everybody win. And I want artists to take anything that they see in my career and try to, you know, make a shortcut where if I could save you a couple years of heartache by my mistakes, you know, then I'd be great. So I like to tell artists, just be yourself at all times. Because if you're not yourself, brother, you might not be able to move from a Death Row to a Shady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You be done that first iteration of yourself.
Yeah, because when I was on Death Row, it was plenty of times Suge wanted me to throw shots at Dr. Dre and Eminem, and I just didn't do it. You know, I said, Suge, I mean, you got respect for me. You didn't sign a paper soldier. You didn't sign a robot, my G. You know what I'm saying? You signed me for my talent and what I do, my dedication, my passion. I don't have no problem with them. I don't know what that issue is. It doesn't concern me. You know, with all due respect. So. You know, one time I was on the radio because we have a close relationship with Murder Inc. Back in the Death Row days. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had a song with Ashanti, the Baby remix. Shout out to Irv, you know what I'm saying? And the crazy part was we went to Power 106 in LA and Ja had a record. You know, he was dissing M on the record. You know, I'm on Death Row. I got the Death Row chain on. It's Murder Inc. Death Row. That was just our whole clique right at that time. And, you know, they like, yo, he's like going crazy on M. And they're like, yo, Crook, what you think about this record? Are you going to be next? Are you going to jump on? And I was like, you know what? I said, I love Irv because Irv is one of the realest dudes that I've dealt with in the game. You know what I'm saying? And I always give Irv his salute, period. He told me he was gonna do a couple things for me in my career, and he did them, and he was no strings attached. So I always respect him for that. I was like, I love him, but this not my beef. I said, if you ask me, Dr. Dre is still, I'm on Death Row, but Dr. Dre's the greatest hip hop producer.
And arguably he built Death Row.
Yeah, I'm like, he's still a GOAT to me. And M got bars, and I respect what they do, and they haven't never said nothing disrespectful to me or my family, and then like, I'm not doing it. So, little did I know, Dr. Dre was having a studio session, and he heard the interview. You know what I'm saying? And he told me later, like, yo, I heard that interview where you was on Death Row and you didn't throw no shots. And he's like, that was your opportunity you could have jumped on the bandwagon and, you know, picked the mantle up. And he was like, you didn't. And I always respect you for that. And, you know, if you need something, holla at me.
You never know who's listening. That's why you always got to keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
And I don't, had I jumped out the window that day, maybe I wouldn't have been on Shady with Slaughterhouse. Maybe they'd have said, hey, we want to sign you guys minus Crook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What we done started, look at what we done started. This the people party. When opportunity knocking, then young nigga move that door. Whoa, get your foot stuck in it, call me young, go get it. They can't fuck with it, might as well roll with it.